From our recent experience on the practical sense, we're actually implementing the retail CBDC in Latin America for 12 countries, and this is really creating the Latin American dollar. It's a way to upgrade the financial infrastructure for these countries to 2022, because most of them are using very old or antiquated methods of settlement and payment rails. Having digital assets really enables the growth of that economy and the cross-border flow of money and trade across those 12 countries initially, and then we're connecting that up to the US.
Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for tapping back in to see what I have to say. And with that being said, what are we talking about? We're talking about Quant Network in this one, okay, you guys, and LacChain. Now listen, I had actually two different comments, right? One was from someone who actually lives in this region and who's actually going through the process of having Quant Network facilitating transactions and things of that nature. And then someone else asked me, what is LacChain? They've heard me talk about it a couple times, right? But before we get too deep into this thing, I want to thank all of you for liking, for subscribing, for commenting, you guys. The page just hit a key milestone of 5,000 subscribers, y'all. This is crazy. And I want to thank each and every single one of y'all for tapping in. I truly, truly do. Okay, you guys? So in this video, we are going over LacChain so you guys can understand the complexity of how humongous this is. Understand the coffers that is sitting behind walls, these literally sandbox walls. LacChain has already produced over 20 million blocks. Truly understand and see the humongous use case this is for Quant Network and Overledger. This is 12 countries' economies. I will say that again. This is 12 countries' economies now being moved over to blockchain and distributed ledger technologies. And Quant Network is a major key player in making that a reality. And right now, they're now almost 3 years in to what other central banks call the blueprint. LacChain, the blueprint. Understand and see that they have been running this in Central and South America, the migration onto DLT, tokenized assets, tokenized securities, digital wallets, digital currencies, and they bring it all the way down to the card level. So even if it's someone that's used to using a debit card, well, that debit card taps directly into DLT, meaning they're capturing everyone. Their goal is everyone's using DLT and they don't even realize it. Whether it's the young millennial or Gen Xer or Gen Z or Gen Zer tapping a phone, or if it's your Gen Xer or your boomer swiping a card. They got you on every single level. Understand this, truly see what's happening. And this first video is coming from our boy Maximus Crypto. He's going over a few developments from LacChain, and I will be right back.
For yourself. Back in 2021, Quant partnered with LacChain. I covered it, Chain's covered it, etc., etc. And again, call to action once again. If you're not following King Channing on YouTube, you are not getting your daily dose of QNT. He is your go-to channel for daily QNT coverage. I'm not joking. So, for one, I want you guys to see here the whole thing of what we're pointing out here, because LacChain is a global alliance made up of 41 allies from the blockchain environment led by the Innovation Laboratory of the Inter-American Development Bank Group, with the purpose of accelerating the development of blockchain ecosystem in Latin America, Caribbean region. And oh, by the way, at least at that time, the alliance is already supporting public-private partnerships and blockchain-based solutions in a total of 12 countries. They already host 26 projects. It's more now. On LacChain blockchain, 89 nodes, 45 entities running in nodes, and more than 20 million blocks. That is nothing to bat an eye at.
Now, you guys just heard that. You guys just heard all of the developers, all of the blocks that's already been minted. Think and truly see this humongous sandbox. And understand, once regulation and regulatory clarity becomes a global reality, because that's what's happening right now. These sandboxes are going to dissolve and you're going to have full-on integration into blockchain and distributed ledger technologies directly into your regular traditional ISO 20022 compatible now world of traditional banking, traditional asset managers, traditional jobs and paychecks, truly understand and see what's being carved out right now. And you have a company like Quant Network with almost a 3-year live trial at this point of LacChain. Truly name me one other project in Web3, and I'm gonna keep saying it, that has something like a LacChain going on right now that has been a live, active pilot for almost 3 years now. Real companies, real countries, real country central banks and commercial banks all interoperating on top of your technology. Name me one, just name me one, all right? But before we get too deep into this thing, I'm going to kick it over to this very next video, because maybe someone out there that's saying, well, that was just from Quant Network. We haven't seen anything from LacChain. I'm getting ready to bring you a commercial. And in this commercial, it is Quant Network, but it is also LacChain discussing the partnership. And I will be right back.
In Latin America, around half of people don't have a bank account at all, and about 80% don't have a credit card. That means hundreds of millions of people without access to crucial financial tools like payments, loans, or money transfers. The team at Quant believes blockchain technology can bring financial inclusion to the entire region, going beyond the traditional banking system to help serve the so-called unbanked.
By implementing blockchain technology, they're able to leapfrog all the legacy infrastructure and the barriers that they've had in the past to real world, real time, and digital assets in a very short period of time, benefiting people by having better payment systems to facilitate more innovation, stronger GDP growth, and allowing for seamless trade between the different parties.
Quant founder and CEO Gilbert Verdian is an expert in using blockchain for payments. Blockchains are like digital records, storing information about transactions or contracts. Quant's platform, called Overledger, makes developing for different blockchains easy. It links them and other legacy systems together, allowing financial services to cross digital and physical borders.
Our approach is bringing the technology to the masses, and you can't be limited by geography. The very nature of blockchain is global, and the very nature of how society and businesses operate today is through globalization, is also global.
Now Quant is providing digital payments for an ambitious project called LacChain, which links 12 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean, along with scores of regional institutions, businesses, and governments.
So in a region as Latin America and the Caribbean, where there's different countries, where different currencies, different jurisdictions, we have always tried to build LacChain as an infrastructure that could allow the development of solutions that would help cross-border payments and financial inclusion.
LacChain will give anyone with a smartphone the power to make and receive payments and send money abroad, making it a potential game changer for those without access to traditional banks.
I want to pay my friend and they're in Colombia and I'm in Panama. So I press pay, go into my contacts, and the network knows who they are. They have a digital identity as well. That's it. Then I just tell them how much do I want to pay, and I hit pay.
LacChain could also help when disaster strikes. Distributing government aid to victims of natural disasters can be slow and expensive. But with LacChain, funds could arrive in a flash.
They have an app on their phone where you can just push the money straight to it. Right? It doesn't cost you any of that. It's immediate. As long as they've got mobile phone service, then they've got money they can spend with a QR code, right, in the grocers and the shops, so they can buy food, they can buy water, they can buy all of the things that they need directly with their phone on the day.
LacChain is about more than just financial inclusion. It's also designed to arm people with the digital tools they need to thrive in the modern world. Something like a digital ID card, which can be tough to get and isn't always transferable between countries.
It's a much bigger idea, really, because the whole point of this regional network, and a lot of them actually, is to bring a lot of what people's lives are in lots of separate different areas, bring them together, make them easier, make everything easier. So you're traveling between regions, doing business with other countries, making payments between countries. It lowers these kind of the big walls that you have, the big walls of red tape, really, between countries within that region.
Quant will help officially launch the LacChain project in 2023, with the potential to rocket an entire region into the future.
I know it was a little long, and I apologize, but I think words matter. I think context matters. And I don't think sound bites give you everything you need to know about a situation. So that's why I give you guys whole interviews so you guys can actually hear it for yourselves. Okay, you guys? But listen, all of this is being facilitated via global standards like ISO TC 307, internet protocols like Secure Asset Transfer Protocol coming out of the IETF. Understand that the infrastructure that has been being worked on since 2016 is now getting its public deployment. That's why the digital money in the UK right now, what are they calling them? Tokenized sterling deposits. That's why this is so important, because that is a official, publicized, live trial inside a major thriving house country. We're now tokenizing the money in your bank accounts. Understand and truly see. And why is that? Because you had a LacChain for the past 3 years that you have literally went off without a hitch. You ain't heard not one hiccup, not one oh no oops moments. Nothing has made the news. Why? Because everything has been a seamless integration via what? Overledger.
Overledger platform from Quant establishes a new benchmark for blockchain interoperability and ease of use. As a low-code enterprise-grade platform, Overledger empowers you to deploy, connect, and develop on any blockchain quickly and simply. With Overledger, you can generate an interoperable digital asset with just a few clicks, create secure smart contracts that can execute on any blockchain without having to hire a team of experts. And you can use its advanced APIs to integrate with your systems and manage your assets on multiple chains. We believe that the blockchain economy should be simple, trusted, and future-proof. These are our principles and the genesis of Overledger Platform, the enterprise standard for building on blockchain.
Quant Networks, software as a service, you guys. Understand that software that these companies, central banks, and commercial banks are now integrated into the back-end infrastructure of their databases. Overledger is incredible. It gives them something that they have never been able to do before, which is truly be interoperable. You can leave your siloed garden, no matter what that siloed garden is. Think about it. Even if you're a company, you have built out your own siloed garden, not even talking about a blockchain, because you may have things that work internally, but when you try to export certain things, it doesn't happen. Truly understand and see that Quant Network is the opportunity of a lifetime, and it's because it is giving the traditional internet, the traditional business, the traditional markets, the traditional way things move right now today in real time. Is giving them a safe, seamless, regulatory compliant way to usher into the next evolution of technology that is safer, that is faster, that is cheaper, that will cut their bottom dollar by billions of dollars a year in different transaction fees. Know what automation truly is going to be, and what is like, and we won't even tap into the whole AI side of all of this, because once you couple AI with blockchain, like, I won't even go into it. But y'all, listen, Quant Network is the opportunity of a lifetime. You have to understand, when you're literally affecting real people in real time,
we see a lot of momentum as well in emerging markets, in Latin America and the Caribbean in particular. Most countries, both from the government side and the private sector side, ready to continue, to use this technology at different levels. So we've done our part as an institution. We are the largest development finance provider to Latin America and the Caribbean, and so working from the foundations in sandboxes with different regulators across the region, to developing a public permission network through LacChain operated by LacNet to help accelerate the use, and that has led to an acceleration of the adoption of the technology. And a couple of the examples, the one in Colombia was a $10 million bond issuance by Davivienda, the third largest bank in the country, and it was in the sandbox of the Superfinanciera of the local regulator. Clearly proved, and that was over 4 years ago, the efficiencies, the transparency, the reduction in cost, and the improvements in terms of settlement cost and process were there, and that it could be done in countries like Colombia. Since then, we've seen many other developments, and we'll talk about the case of Brazil and how Argentina is implementing these things and so on, and some that have done it at much, much larger scale. But we also wanted to walk the talk, and so our own bond issuances, when IDB funds itself in the market, so we did in 2022, we did a bond issuance of IDB itself in the regulated market, in BME owned by Next in Spain, with Iberclear, with the collaboration with Citibank and BBVA, and that was an end-to-end blockchain issuance. That got replicated now last year in Luxembourg with a $5 million issuance in pounds, and so on. So I think that we're seeing the applications, and we are also, as an institution that is keen to see all of this momentum to continue to grow and the adoption within the regulated market. We are also putting our own treasury to use it and show that it brings a lot of benefits.
Now you just saw from the words of someone who is living through this transition, the Quant Network Overledger transition that is happening now globally. I got a video coming out even about Nexi and SIA. Understand, that is the entirety of SEPA. That is the entirety of the European diaspora and the way their money is sent and received, period. And tied right back to who? Quant Network. Okay, even in the beginning of this video, you heard GBBC say LacChain is being connected to what? The US. Why? Because this is the part that they're not saying. LacChain, the dollar that they're using is the US dollar. It is the South American dollar, but it is based, the value of it is the US dollar. So it's going to be a seamless transition because they already have the entire network of dollar digitized, and it's already been up and functioning for years. Understand, y'all, truly see where we sit right now in 2025. Quant Network is the opportunity of a lifetime. And again, anybody that's flooding Quant right now in 2025, tell them just hang tight and let's see how 2026 and 2027 and 2028 plays out. And we'll see who sits where at that time. I appreciate each and every single one of you. I promise you I do. If you made it all the way through this entire video, type in LacChain. That way I know you rocked all the way, truly all the way to the end of this video, okay? Now for real this time, y'all already know. Peace out.